Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Today is Friday, April 11th. Got that date in one, baby. Not too good at reading that number, but that's today. The Battlehawks are playing the DC Defenders on Sunday at 2 o'clock. I think the game's being aired on ESPN. Both teams are 2-0, and we've got a bird's eye preview right now, actually. Biggest thing for this game. So the defenders have had this weird shit going on. It was like a week, maybe like 2 weeks or something like that before their season started. Their head coach, Reggie Barlow, got a job with Tennessee State. Their head coach at Tennessee State. Let me make sure I got that right. Actually, I don't care. He's just not there anymore, and it doesn't really matter where he went. But it's like, okay, well, that's weird because number one, wasn't great, and then number two, how many people is he going to? How many other coaches is he going to take with him? The answer to that question got answered yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever it was, when Gregg Williams, Gregg with 3 G's, Williams, Gregg Williams, Dr. Heat himself, the mastermind behind Bountygate, that piece of shit. That piece of shit is going with him. Gregg Williams, the guy who's been the Defenders defensive coordinator and has been, I'm not going to say good, but he's been, you know what? I'll give him a good. I don't want to because the guy, again, wicked piece of shit. He's gone. Just like that, just out of there in the middle of a season, in the middle of a week. He didn't even wait till after one more game. He was like, you know what? Let's game plan for this game. Against a team that we've been playing against for 3-4 years, whatever it's been, I guess 2023, 2024. Then did they play in 2020? It doesn't matter. That's so long ago. So, but anyway, he's just up and out. So Gregg Williams, not only a piece of shit as a person, but turns out as a coach, like, I guess for him, you got to be like, yeah, sure. I guess that's like the entire point that you take a coaching job in this league is to like get better jobs. You would think that he would try to do it at a little bit more of an opportune time. But now his son, Blake Williams. Let me see. I should have looked this up. Blake Williams. That's a regular name. Blake Williams football. Let's see what Blake Williams doesn't have a Wikipedia. That Blake Williams. His first thing that came up was his what's it called? His Twitter. And I don't even know if that's actually him, but whatever it is, Blake Williams is Gregg Williams' son and is going to be taking over at defensive coordinator. So all the notes that I took on this defense, man, I don't think that they necessarily matter a whole lot because I don't know what Blake Williams is going to do. I'm going to assume that he's also going to be a piece of shit because shit breeds shit, and the apple does not fall far from the tree. But the fact of the matter is that for this DC team, their defense is kind of their team. Their defense is the reason that they're 2-0. Their defense is like the way that they do things is they do press man or they do soft zones. And they do a lot of sugar in the A gap where they kind of do that mug look, the double mug, with like the two linebackers or two people that kind of just line up in the A gaps on the either side of the center. They do a lot of sim pressure and stuff like that. But, I mean, if you watch the games, and even if what half of Gregg Williams says is true when, like, they do the interviews with him on the sideline, because that guy loves himself. Like, if it wasn't illegal for him to just straight up and crank on TV, he would. That guy loves himself. Like, at the beginning of this last game I'm watching, they're like, the sideline reporter walks up and goes, oh, so you got 6 sacks last week. And Gregg goes, actually, I got 8. It's like, actually, Gregg, you didn't do shit. You weren't on the field. Which he did do shit because that's the thing is Gregg, he yells a lot. He tells his linebackers and everybody on defense what to do, like all the way up until the ball is snapped and even after the ball is snapped. Like the guy is so involved in that defense. He didn't get the sacks. He called the defense that did, and it's his ludicrous defensive scheme, which I guess works. I mean, if you're going to line up, if you're going to do sim pressures and then sometimes not sim pressures and just straight up and bring 6 people, like, yeah, that's going to confuse some of these quarterbacks. But, man, I just don't know what this DC defense is going to do. I'm assuming that it's going to be relatively the same. I don't think that it's going to be nearly as effective as it had been. Because, I mean, it's still the same players. It's still the same players. And what I've seen, I mean, let's go through some of these notes. I said the defense is a strength. They're aggressive, sim pressures, they do press man, soft zones. That's a big thing with the soft zones. So when they do these sim pressures, it's really a live or die by it. It's either you're going to get a sack, pressure the quarterback into a bad throw, or he's going to throw the ball and it's going to be a big gain. So what they do is that they do these soft zones to not let anything get behind them. So if they're bringing 6 people, bringing 5 people with these sim pressures, they're only dropping 6 or even 5 into coverage. But the way that they do it, man, some of these linebackers are very, very slow. They're very slow. They're physical. They're big and strong and physical, and they'll make tackles when they're coming downhill. That's not exactly a hard thing for a linebacker to do. That's kind of how you hide bad linebacker plays, is bringing them downhill, because it's a lot harder to cover than it is to just go and see ball, hit ball. But they play these deep, very soft zones, and it leaves a lot of stuff up open underneath. I think that there's going to be a really good opportunity for Ja'Cory Pearson to hit some of those. Maybe not. I would say hit him on crossers. I think that the Showboats in this last game had a few decent gains in the middle, just kind of hitting that underneath stuff. So I think that the Battlehawks, depending, it's really going to be whether or not Manny Wilkins in this offensive line with a new right tackle, because remember, not right tackle, right guard, because remember, Abdul Beachum, I should actually bring this up now, the injury report. Sorry, this is kind of a little bit of a hiccup. I meant to do this right off the bat. The injury report, all right? Abdul Beachum did not practice 2 days in a row. He's going to be gone. Callahan O'Reilly, off-ball linebacker, he didn't practice on Thursday with an illness. The third string, Chevin Cordero, was limited with a left hamstring, which actually that might be an issue, because also Manny Wilkins still limited with his left hamstring. I'm assuming that he's going to play, but maybe that's just like a precaution thing. Chris Garrett, that edge rusher that I like, was the special teams player of the year last year. He was limited on Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday with a knee. Hakeem Butler did not practice with the left hamstring 2 days in a row. I doubt he's going to play again. Jake Sutherland was dehydrated on Wednesday and practiced in full on Thursday. I don't understand why these guys are getting dehydrated. You fucking know that this, you know that this is good. Tom Herman thinks that you're a bad guy. If you remember Tom Herman's P chart, there were 6 shades of P color. And if you're in the top 3, good. In the bottom 3, the last one was like gold. It said if your P's this color, it just said bad teammate. So Jake Sutherland, bad teammate apparently by Tom Herman standards. And then so those are the big ones. Manny Wilkins does still have his left hamstring, but if and or when he does play, his ability to kind of suss out what this defense is going to do, what they're going to bring at him, is going to be pretty important. Now, I imagine that he got these protection plans put in place early in the season or early in the week, thinking that Gregg Williams was going to be the defensive coordinator. Now that it's not Gregg Williams, who the fuck knows what this defense is going to do? I assume the same thing but worse. I feel like that's a realistic thought. I just don't. Again, even if half of what he says about himself is true, then they're fucked. Apparently he was a big part of the mental side of their defense. They are very aggressive on the defensive line. Again, like I said, they bring a lot of people, and they've had 13 sacks over 2 games, which is really impressive. It was 8 in week 1 and 5 in week 2. But I think that there's going to be the opportunity, like we saw in week 1, with those big gains off of those trap plays, those trap blocks. That's where you get a guard from the back side of the play, or a tackle from the back side of the play pulls around on a defensive tackle or defensive end that's coming into the backfield, knocks him off his base. That allows you to get your guard and tackle on the play side into the second level of the defense to do some blocking there. So I think that there's an opportunity for some big gains like that, and we know that this offense is more than capable of doing those things. If they do that, I would prefer for them to have Steven Gonzalez be the trap blocker and be the puller. That way you don't have who I assume is going to be Donovan West be the guy that has to pull, because that's a little bit harder than just going straight and going downhill, not going downhill, going into that second level. But we'll see about that. Maybe I get surprised by Donovan West. But yeah, so it's an aggressive defense. One thing that, that the Memphis Showboats that were doing was good was they were running some RPOs where they were giving that quarterback the option to throw the ball off of a read. And I said this after the recop, is that I would like that to be part of this Battlehawks offense. That way Manny Wilkins does not get absolutely smeared. Especially if we're talking a guy with a hurt hamstring. Even if he does play, it doesn't mean he's at 100%. Sucks that it's happening in week 3, 30% of the way through the season. Maybe a quarter, if everything's going well, it's a quarter of the way through the season. But still, that kind of sucks. So if he does pull the ball, you're like, okay, you have a quarterback who's running injured. I don't necessarily want that. More he uses his legs, the higher the risk of injury. The problem is that quarterbacks running against this DC defense have been, pretty good. In that week 1 game, Alex Magoo, which is a very funny name. I think I'm sorry if there's anybody with the last name Magoo listening, but change your last name. Not a good last name. Alex Magoo, the Birmingham Stallions quarterback, carried the ball 8 times for 84 yards. That's real good. And then E.J. Perry in week 2 carried the ball 4 times for 26 yards. He's not exactly a weapon on the ground, and he was playing with a hurt abs or something like that too. That happened early in the game. But I think that the quarterback run is going to be there. Again, not necessarily that I want to see it. I would like the RPO to be there, so that way you could just chunk the ball off. If he's getting pressure, get hot and then hit your fast guys who are coming across the field or something like that, especially if they're doing soft zones. And if they're sticking and playing press man, then do something short and their double move or something like that. And I guess double move wouldn't necessarily work if you're talking about hot, but I think that there's going to be options there for this passing game to work, especially if it's a quick passing game, because that has worked for other teams. But yeah, no, this defense, I don't exactly know what we're going to see out of it. I would like to just see the Battlehawks play the game that they play the game, the way they play the game. Use your offensive line as a weapon, not just as some dudes on the field as a barrier. Use them as a weapon and move an aggressive DC defensive line. If they're pushing, pull them, not pull them down, but do some Toro shit and let these guys lay on the ground and take themselves out of the play. I think that those kinds of things are going to be there. As far as players that they have on their defense, they got this guy, DeAndre Baker, I believe is his name. Yeah, DeAndre Baker is number 2. He's got the skills to be their better cornerback, but I don't think he is. A guy can get beat on double moves, which is good, especially by fast people. He was getting outrun a handful of times, so I think that Gary Jennings Jr. and Ja'Cour Pearson are going to be able to kind of have a field day with that. Number 1 is their corner on the other side. His name is Bryce Thompson. He's aggressive, and I think that he's going to be the kind of guy that's able to play downhill and make tackles on Manny Wilson if he does pull the ball and go to the outside. That being said, if he's playing aggressive, it should be easy to kind of make him miss a little bit. Let's see. They play a really good red zone defense. Again, I don't know if that's going to be something that's sticky, but that's where they kind of thrive in that press man coverage, and they're taking away a lot of short passes there. Again, run the ball. You don't have to worry about that. You run the ball good in this game. Listen, I tell you, I like a quarterback who can launch the ball. But a good running game, buddy. That's how you get my plums to get sucked up inside. That's where we're feeling good. I think that's really all I have to say about this defense, man. It's just they're fine. Their players are fine, but I think the mind behind it was kind of what made it roll. 13 sacks in 2 games, then you change your defensive coordinator to his kid, and it's like, this is his first time. I don't know if it's his first time. That'd be weird for me to just call that out. But he's not Gregg Williams, which is good for him on a personal level. But he could still be a piece of shit. Who knows? So yeah, that's DC's defense. I think the Battlehawks offense will be a good matchup for them. Again, I think this will come down to we'll be able to really see how Manny Wilkins is able to comprehend and read the field. I don't think the coverages are going to be anything that's spectacular, but those sim pressures, those will get in a quarterback's head if they don't know what they're doing. I would assume it's going to be a slow start for the Battlehawks just because Manny's trying to, number 1, he doesn't know what this defensive coordinator is going to do, and then number 2, if he does do sim pressures and stuff like that, we haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of those against Manny. So I think that it could be. I think it could be a slow start where maybe, hopefully not 3 and outs, but maybe they do a couple punts right at the beginning of the game before they get going. Other option, just run the piss out of the ball. It works. As far as DC's offense goes, I'm trying to think of a good way to go about this, and let's do it like this. Let's go from outside in. Fred Keiss is their offensive coordinator. Okay, Fred Keiss is a good offensive coordinator, schemes up good routes, knows how to beat coverages. He got a bunch of his wide receivers wide open. He gets them wide open. He can make them. He can when he's working with Jordan Ta'amu, he can make these wide receivers get wide open. The wide receivers that you're worrying about, number one is what's his name? Chris Rowland. I think it's Chris Rowland. Yeah, it's Chris Rowland and Ty Scott are their 2 wide receivers, and they're good. They're good wide receivers. They don't get a whole lot of yak like it is there. No, I don't want to spoil it yet. But they're good wide receivers. I think that Chris Payton-Jones and Brandon Sebastian are good cornerbacks too, so I think it'll probably talent might nullify talent, but a good throw is going to beat a good defense any day. As far as the running back goes, it's this guy, Abram Smith. He was the one that not last year, 2 years ago, he broke the Battlehawks with 218 rushing yards, and it was really gross. So that one sucked. It's the same dude. He didn't play last year because he tore his ACL. I believe his ACL. Yeah, it was ACL. He fucked up his knee real bad before the season started, so he didn't play at all, and he was one of the reasons that their offense wasn't able to do anything last year. He's a strong runner. He keeps his feet moving and everything like that. I think a key in order to slowing him down is getting some penetration with that defensive line. I mean, he's you can tell, and this is one of these things, is I'm wondering if the knee is still kind of, I mean, obviously the knee's still bothering him. I don't know if it's obvious. As an ACL survivor in his 30s, mine sucks, and it bothers me every single day. So I just kind of assume that every other human being is like that, but that's clearly not the case. But if you can get him kind of stuffed up behind the line of scrimmage, he's slow to bounce. If he does bounce, he's good to get some yardage on the outside, or if he can bounce and find a hole, he's good that way. But he's slow to bounce. That's the thing, is that like when you see him changing directions, he doesn't have like the big cut ability, kind of like you see Jacob Sailors have. He's not exactly speedy laterally. I think that's the way that I want to say this. When he's working east and west, if you can get him to change directions, kind of like a shipping boat, or a whale. There's just not a good turn radius on him. So I think that there's a very good opportunity. I mean, sure, he'll probably get some good yards, maybe like a 15-yarder or something like that, just because it's hard to take him down. But if you can get him, I don't want to call him Derrick Henry-esque, but I mean the thing with Derrick Henry is once he gets moving, you ain't slowing him down. That's kind of the way it is with Abram Smith, and there's a lot of running backs that are like that. But he's a bigger guy and he's tanky. So yeah, get him to chop his feet, make him think behind the line of scrimmage, get a guy on him. This is a good way to stop him. I talked about Abram Smith, Rowland, Ty Scott. Oh, their offensive line, their left guard and their left tackle, they suck. They are really bad. Their left guard and left tackle were getting tossed. They were getting shoved into the ground like pieces of shit on the ground, and the defensive line was rubbing their faces in it in the red zone where it's the most important. Man, they I think that Travis Feeney and Austin Fowler are going to have a field day with these two clowns. I think that Jordan Ta'amu's good at not getting sacked, and he'll pull the ball and run with it and everything like that. But I think that there's a good chance that this pressure is going to get into his head early and often. That left guard and that left tackle, I don't know what the hell their names are, but they stink. It's like 67 and 65 maybe, I think is the numbers. I could be wrong about that. That's not important. But buddy, that left side of that offensive line is really, really terrible. Now, Jordan Ta'amu is obviously their quarterback still. Jordan, he was Battlehawks quarterback in 2020, and people liked him and bought his uniforms, and then they bought uniforms for 5 games of Jordan Ta'amu, and then he went to a different team, and then Jordan Ta'amu sucks, dude. Jordan Ta'amu, maybe he doesn't, he sucks, but it's a specific type of suck, and it's a very important type of suck. So whenever he has the ball in his hands, he's good. Whenever he has the ball in his hands, he is good. He's able to do some pump fakes, look guys off, look safeties off. He'll do pump fakes with just his shoulders, not even moving the ball. He'll make a cornerback bite on an under on a running back, and then the wide receiver will be wide open. That's what I said. I think there was like 3 times in the first half of that last game where he had wide receivers wide open. He fucking sucks at throwing the ball, man. He is really, really, really terrible. Wide open wide receivers. Wide open wide receivers. On one of them, wide receiver did drop the ball. What was that cat's name? Jaden Minkins, number 3. That guy's a bad wide receiver. But these other ones, Jordan Ta'amu is just straight up in missing people. Last week, he was 12 for 26 for 152 yards. That's a 46.2 completion rate. The week before that, Jordan Ta'amu, 17 for 37. That's a 45.9 completion rate. Like, this guy, he can't hit people. He is really, really bad at throwing the football, and they're an offense with this running back that has not quite been able to get going yet. They're kind of They're kind of living and dying on offense by Jordan Ta'amu's arm, and that is a world that you do not want to be in. The guy is 29 for 63. He has 1 passing touchdown. His passing percentage is an even 46%. Like, the guy, he's watching him, buddy, he stinks. He stinks. That being said, when he pulls the ball, he's pretty good at running still. He's getting a little bit older, but he's good at running the ball. I think that if Pita Tamoipenu has the same kind of game that he had last week where he can't keep contained, I think that's going to be a little bit of a punishing thing. But man, I'm not worried about this DC offense when Jordan Ta'amu is their quarterback. Who's this other cat that they had? Let me see if I can pull him up. Mike DiLiello, DILIELLO. DiLiello. Mike DiLiello is their backup quarterback. And I wrote down in my notes, it's like, I don't know how long they can keep doing Jordan Ta'amu. Like, yeah, he's good at pulling guys off of the defense and getting his wide receivers into spots where they can catch the ball. But he can't hit them. And I just don't know how long you want to live with that as your quarterback. Like, it would not shock me if it's either this game, if the Battlehawks do the thing where they beat the shit out of them and get up big. It would not surprise me if we see a backup quarterback go in. But Jordan Ta'amu, buddy, he ain't it. In that second game, he had 3 carries for 18 yards. One of them probably should have been a touchdown. And in the first game, he actually was dog shit at running. He was 2 carries for -1. But I mean, you can see whenever he does pull the ball, he has some space to do it. Again, he's not exactly the fastest guy in the world anymore. I think he stinks. And until I see differently, he's dead. He's dead. I think that this defense is going to be able to play them really well. I like the way that the Battlehawks corners and safeties have been doing their coverages with the rotations and stuff like that. The defenders like an RPO as well, so they'll probably try to go for things underneath. Like I said before, Fatukasi, the number 33, the Battlehawks linebacker, I think he's much better in coverage than he is trying to match run fits and stuff like that, and kind of recognize where the run is going, which is kind of one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about with that Abram Smith. Like, if Fatukasi can come downhill and make Abram Smith make a move, that would be great. I don't necessarily know if I've seen it from him, though. I think it could be more of a Willie Harvey game in that aspect. But they like an RPO. They'll scheme guys open, but I think that with the way that this defense and these coverages, well, I say that. My one critique for the defensive backs last week and the linebackers is that they did have some sloppy zones. Like, they were a little bit sloppy in their coverages, whether it be Travis Feeney dropping too slow and stuff like that. So maybe they could get some guys wide open, but I don't have faith. I mean, if I'm playing a quarterback who's hitting guys downfield, I mean, he's got a 46.2 completion rate. That's not all stuff downfield. He might have a 5% completion rate downfield. Like, he's bad. So yeah, even if they do get open, I'm not entirely worried about it. I think that there's going to be opportunities there for some interceptions off of deflected balls, because when he's missing in every direction. He's missing tall, he's missing short, east, west, he's missing in every direction. So I think that when the pressure gets in his face, specifically from Travis Feeney and Austin Faliu, I think that it's going to force him to make bad decisions, maybe make him get out of the pocket, and if Peter Tamoipenu can hold him, man, it's going to be good. If he can't, It stinks, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't think he's going to get he's not Manny Wilkins. He's not like a fast guy or anything like that. He's not going north and south super quickly. I'm going to get burned when he actually does that this week. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think that this defense will be able to hold them tight. I mean, it's again, this is a team. How many points have they scored total? All right, so last week they won 17-12, and then they beat the Birmingham Stallions 18-11. They've only scored 2 touchdowns. They've just been living off of their field goal kicker, Matt McCrane. In week 1, he kicked 4 field goals, and then in week 2, he kicked 3. He was 3 of 4. So I mean, he's got 7 times 3. He's got 21. He's got 21 of the team's 35 points. They're terrible in the red zone. They're really bad in the red zone. A lot of that comes down to Jordan Ta'amu. He took some gnarly sacks in the red zone that it was like a third and goal from the 1, gets sacked 6 yards. They have to kick a field goal. It's like this team, you can't take negative plays there. That's why the brotherly shove is such a good play. It's not just that it scores, it's that it doesn't take a negative play when you're in goal to go or in short yardage situations. So yeah, no, I think that the defenders stink. They've been living by their defense, and their defense doesn't have a brain anymore. So that's where I'm at with that. As far as a prediction goes for this game, Battlehawks are favorited by 6, or they're 6.5 point favorites. Over under is 38.5. I actually do like the Battlehawks to cover that 6.5. My final score for this game is 20-12. So I do think that they're going to cover it by a point and a hook. I think that those 12 points that that DC is going to get are all going to be field goals. I mean, I haven't seen any other reason not to. If the dude is going out there to kick field goals 4 times a game, I don't know, man. They're just not a threatening team. They're 2-0. I think that it's a fraudulent 2-0. They won on a blocked field goal last week. They got really good field position. I believe it was going into halftime off of a muffed punt. I mean, they're very opportunistic. This Battlehawks can't make mistakes. Got to hit guys when they're open. And so far, I have not seen this Battlehawks team make a whole lot of mistakes, except for whenever they're blowing a little bit of coverages, but I'm not worried about that. So that is my prediction for this game. Again, the Battlehawks are playing the DC Defenders at 2 p.m. on Sunday. It is a home game. The game's going to be on ABC and ESPN Plus. I think that's all I got. That's it. Battlehawks are going to be 3-0, and the Defenders are going to be 2-1, and I don't think they're going to win another game for a month. That's where we're at. Thank you guys for listening. This has been Solid. If you watch this, I appreciate you. If you want to listen to it, it's on Solid. It's at Solid on Apple and Spotify. If you listen to it and you want to watch it, then it's on YouTube at Solid Pod. Thank you guys for listening. Go Birds, go Battlehawks, go Ironbirds, caw is the law. Anything that you want to say, somebody's going to be able to translate that to be like, oh, that's a Battlehawks guy. That's what that is. Like just while I was recording this, I saw my neighbor kid was shooting a hockey puck into his goal, and before I started, I kind of did a wave out my window. It's a creepy move. I wish I didn't do it. I felt weird when I did do it. It was you shouldn't be waving at high schoolers from inside your house. I think that's just a good rule. I think that's a good rule. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Thank you guys for watching. That's my point, is that when I did wave, he was like, oh, he's doing a Battlehawks thing. That's what he's doing. I am excited that this game is on ESPN. I will say they have a lot better coverage than Fox does. They have more guys on the sidelines getting better interviews. At one point in that last game, Sam Acho just went up into the defensive coordinator's booth and was just interviewing him as he was calling plays, and that was kind of rad, to be able to get that kind of insight from the defensive coordinator as he's calling it. And I think that could be fun. I don't necessarily know how much you're going to get from Donnie Abrams, but it could be fun. But yeah, or maybe if he interviews Phil McGogan, that'd be good. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later. I will be back with you on Sunday night with a rehawction. And until then, have a good one. Go Birds.